everyone, welcome to my weekly edition of Show Me How It's Done. My name is Lauren Urbonis and I'm a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I am really excited to show you guys this project today. I know it doesn't look exciting from this view, but look, it's adorable. So this is a pinwheel card that I'm going to walk you through and show you how to make using the Rain or Shine suite. So this suite is currently in our mini catalog. And of course, there's a great stamp set, there's dies, there's all sorts of fun stuff. So let me show you a few things that are part of the suite. There is an embossing folder. This is our Raindrops embossing folder, and I just did this on a piece of Flirty Flamingo, so you could hopefully see some of those gorgeous details. And then I made this fun little chart to show you the stamp sets that are included in the set, as well as the dies that coordinate, and of course those are the Playing in the Rain dies. So you can purchase both of these things individually. You can grab the stamp set if that's all you want, or you can grab the dies separately if that's all you want. But if you purchase them together, it is a way better deal because you do get that 10% off your bundle price. And it's just a really, really fun set. I've been having a little too much fun maybe with this. Hopefully you checked out, I think back in November or December, I shared a video. I'll just show you the cards. There you go. I shared a video using the suite to make this trio of cards because I actually got to present this suite at one of our conferences, which has just been like the highlight of my year, really. So I made this stepped up card, and I'll put the link in this video description just so that you can go back and take a peek at that video if you didn't see it. But I'm using all the same products basically to make this little feature as well. So there's the stamps and dies. And we have designer series paper. So this is the Rain or Shine designer series paper. I don't know if you can see it. Do you see that little glistening on some of the sheets? There's a UV coating on half of the papers, so kind of on the front side of every paper, that gives you a really fun shine. So some of the papers coordinate with dies. You can cut out things like the umbrella. There's full-size images of our little turtle friend, our fox, and our bunny. And then you can also cut out some things like puddles and clouds out of certain papers. So this was just me presenting the papers in a different manner. And then there is one sheet that you can see here. I had to give it the full effect. I couldn't just chop it down. So there are gorgeous clouds in the sky with this one, and that grass. That is the paper that I used for the trio, the bunny trio that I showed you. And then these would be the sheets that would be perfect for you to use your dies and cut them out as well. Just one note with the dies, the bunny doesn't get cut out with the puddle. All it does is it cuts out the silhouette. So it's kind of nice because the intent is that the bunny can be dancing kind of in the rain or in the sunshine. But if you do end up wanting the puddle, you have the option of stamping this puddle and cutting it out with a die, or you can always just fussy cut around that larger puddle and still be able to add it to your project. So there's just a few caveats. The last part of this suite are these loose Daisy embellishments, and they're really great for all sorts of kind of like accessories for your little critters. I used them quite a bit in the little bunnies as a bow, and then I used them in that trio of cards as a shaker card. So couple ideas for you. Today I'm just using it as a decor for the bow, but let's get crafting because we've got lots to do. Okay, so the fun part about this card is the 3D aspect, of course, but that means there's lots of things that we need to cut to be able to build this card. So what we need to start with is a base. So I'm using Balmy Blue, and sorry, the camera doesn't like focusing when things are tall. So I'm using Balmy Blue. We're going to start with a piece of Balmy Blue that is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So it's a perfect square. And then let's just turn this around. On your scoreboard, we're scoring at 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you should end up with 4 large rectangle sections, and then this one like random piece on the end that is that 1/4 inch that we have left over. Once you have this all set up, we're going to fold on all of these lines. So make sure you've got something to burnish those lines with, such as your bone folder, or if you don't have that, like maybe a nail file or the back of a block or something. But I like these bone folders. They're so easy to hold and handle. Easy peasy. All right, so I've got this all ready. I'm going to work so that I have my 4 sections that are large kind of on the left-hand side of my workspace, and my one tiny one here is on the right-hand side. So if you guys can do that too, then it'll be easy to follow along. So I'm going to fold section number 4 just over, and that's going to just leave me with the back side of this little 1/4 inch section that needs some glue. If you really have tiny tape, you can use that too, but I like glue. It holds things very well when you're doing something so busy as a box like this, because people are going to play with it a lot. So the reason we folded that over and we've added our glue is now panel number 1 right here on the left, and fold over and rest right against that section. Okay, so it'll have covered our 1/4 inch piece, and what you have left is a little square like this. So the glue does take a couple minutes to dry, so just, you know, let it dry, and maybe use this time to cut yourself some pieces of cardstock for the project. So I decided, instead of doing all blue cardstock like this one here, I was going to alternate between Balmy Blue and Old Olive for my project. So I need 2 of each of them here. So I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Give me a second. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it'll come later. Okay, 2 pieces of Old Olive and 2 pieces of Balmy Blue. These are both, they're all for the same measurements. So 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. They should be the same height as your little pyramid in the middle here. Okay, so they're all the same height. 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And again, feel free to mix and match different colors if you want. There are colors that would go really nicely, or Flirty Flamingo. You could use Crushed Curry. What else is showing up in here? I think those are the main ones. So yeah, you can always do the 4 colors too if you wanted as well. Okay, this should be dry. Just be gentle with it as you go. I'm going to use tape because that's just going to be the easiest way for me to kind of show you how this gets assembled. So in each of your little squares, or sorry, rectangles, let's put tape, a couple strips in there, and you're doing this on all 4 of those sections. So it doesn't matter where you start, doesn't matter where you end, put them in all 4 of the sections. 2 on the front, 2 on the back. If you're using something like glue or seal, you'll have to just do this one at a time as we're assembling our project. Okay, so I have this beautiful square that has adhesive on all 4 of the sides, okay? Once again, it does not matter where you start here because it's all going to be the same idea, okay? So let's lay this down here so you're seeing 2 sections in front of you. For this first panel, we need to take the adhesive off the right-hand side. So the right-hand side should be ready to go. And whichever, it doesn't matter what piece you start with. It's not necessarily the front of your card. It's just where we're starting. So I'm going to start with Balmy Blue. And do you see my score line here? This is where I'm going to line the edge of my paper to that scored line. And these are the same height, so you won't see anything on the top or bottom. But I've completely covered this right panel. So this is what I should have at the moment. I've got kind of a square and then this extra little piece here. Here's where we started. Now I'd like you to take this piece right now and flip it over so that what you're seeing is the extra of your little blue piece and then 2 full panels worth of adhesive. Now we're going to take adhesive off the left, okay? The left-hand side. You're going to take your adhesive off. And then you're going to take your alternating color or whatever you would like to happen next. And instead of using this middle score line, now we're using the edge. Do you see this kind of edge marker of our little center piece? We're using the edge and lining up the green, old olive, to that section. So I still have adhesive technically under this left-hand side. We've just used that folded piece now. So I still have this open blue. Now I have a green. And now we're going to flip it once more. And again, you should be able to see here my green now on the left and 2 pieces that are covered in adhesive on the right. Once again, we're going with the left-hand side, starting with that, taking off our adhesives so that we're putting now our blue paper, because we're alternating colors, blue, green, blue, using this left-hand fold side once again, and lining my cardstock up to it. All big. Last rotation for this guy will mean that I only have 1 section left. So the adhesive comes off of this part. Just make sure you're once again using this left hand guide to put your last piece on. So then when you pop it up, this is what you should have. You should have a pinwheel where every direction you have papers going in different ways. You shouldn't have any parts, where 2 of them are going in the same direction. And decorating is the fun part. Does not matter where you start here. It just matters where you end up, okay? So for my card, I just picked 4 of the designs from the Rain or Shine Specialty Designer Series paper that I really liked. So from those 4 patterns, those all measure, let me just get you the correct measurements, 2.5 by 4. You'll need 4 of them that are 2.5 by 4. Whatever you decide for those designs, you're also going to need matching strips. So these measure 1/4 of an inch by 4 inches tall. Okay, so you do want to make sure you've matched all of those up. And then while you're cutting, you're going to need 4 pieces of basic white. And these panels, they are all the same once again. So this is kind of the nice thing. So 1/2 inch by 4. Right. Now, you can start wherever you like. I'm going to show you how I put mine together, but of course, your decorating can be as similar or different as you want. So here's panel number 1 for me. So I'm starting with my white piece of cardstock. I'm going to need to put adhesive on the back. And this piece will fit perfectly in my little section on the left. Gives you don't have to decorate this section, but I just figured it gives you a chance to have somewhere to write, and it just looks really cute. Okay, so we're decorating that panel on the left, and then you should have whatever pattern of paper you've decided for this one. The coordinating strip is going to get added just to this left-hand side as well. So I'm using glue for that. I just find it much easier to attach because it's slightly bigger than our tear tape. But if you want to use tear tape and kind of scrunch it up, that's okay too. And whatever package or pattern of paper you'd like. I chose this like splotchy one here. I like it. I'm going to put this down flat. So with some tape. So it's just centered in your little panel here. And then for decor for this one, I love the Stylish Shapes dies, so that's what I've chosen. I'm going to use this circle. Let me just grab them for you. So here's our Stylish Shapes dies. You get the circles, squares, and banners. So for this circle, I've chosen the 3rd smallest circle, and then I'm actually on another one going to be using the 4th smallest. Okay, so just those are the 2 I've chosen, but you can pick and choose whichever ones fit for you. So I thought this little sentiment, "Oh Happy Day," from the stamp is perfect. I'm going to use Blackberry Bliss and stamp this right in the center here. Ooh, little H didn't go. Oh well. Now I'm popping this decal up on dimensionals. It's just going to go right up near the top. It doesn't have to be right at the top, but you do want it a little higher because we have a bunny that needs some space to dance around. And so that bunny I did cut from the patterned paper, the Rain or Shine Designer Series paper. You can also make your own bunny just by stamping and coloring with our Playing in the Rain stamp set and dies. And the bunnies, they come in a little brown bunny, or there is a yellow bunny as well. So both are cute. You can use either. And I'm going to pop this bunny up on dimensionals and kind of put her right in this empty space down here. I'm not putting any dimensionals on her ears because they do kind of end up touching the tag and you don't want them getting in your way. But that can go just right here. Like it better. There you go. And as I mentioned earlier, I thought it was really cute to use these loose Daisy embellishments as a barrette. So I'm just putting a dot of glue on the base of the ear. And then I'm going to add one of those embellishments to the bottom here. Go. And then last but not least, there are some great dies with some butterflies. So I decided to cut myself out one of those out of some of my scraps. You can pop it up on dimensionals, or just one is perfect. That just goes right at the top of your sentiment there. There, so there's section number 1. Let's move on to section number 2. Okay, I'm going to flip this over, and we're starting with our white cardstock to get that in place. Matching strip. Wonder if it's going to be risky if I put glue just on the edge here to work. Then I don't need to put it on this teeny tiny strip. Try and hold it up. There we go. That's a little easier to work with. Okay, and I have my matching umbrella designer paper. I am using this backside in another project, so make sure if you do that, pick the one that you like the best. I still do like this one because it's got multiple colored umbrellas. But don't be afraid to kind of pick and choose your favorite pieces. Matched onto the blue. All right, now we're having more fun with those stylish shaped dies. These are the fourth smallest, sorry. So what I've done is one of the pattern papers has just a bunch of these characters in it. So I just went and I chopped a circle around it because there's not actually a die that cuts this turtle out. The die only cuts out like the large turtle. So I cut this one out. Could have used the backside for something else, but I cut out an equal size Balmy Blue circle then, and I'm just going to layer these two kind of offset. So all you need is a little bit of adhesive right in the middle here. And because they're the same size, you don't want to put them one on top of another. So you're just going to kind of layer those a bit. So you see a bit of blue, and then of course on the back side, this would be showing a bit of the designer paper. And this little decal here can get popped up on dimensionals. It will become one of the features on this layer of card. So somewhat towards the top of the project, I guess. And on this layer, I wanted to use our sentiment that says rainy days are better with you. So all I've done is I've cut myself a little rectangle here, and this is 3/4 of an inch by 2 inches. Yes, by 2 inches. Going to use Balmy Blue, which is the same color we've kind of focused on in this panel. Just tapping my inks. They're very juicy. Stamping that in place. There we go. This guy you can pop up on dimensionals because, why not? Might as well. And it will get put just right underneath your stitch circles. There is panel number 2. Panel number 3 has the turtle that I was mentioning. You can actually find this turtle in the designer paper, or you can stamp it yourself. The dies will cut out both. They're the same size. So I'm starting with my white layer here. For this one, I'm using those bright flowers. Oh. Perfect. Putting the flower layer on now. Come back. Oh. There. Okay, so I went back to my stylish shapes dies. This white circle is that fourth smallest in the set again, and I'm going to pop that up on dimensionals. And this time I am putting this in the center of this panel. And I'm going to take that turtle. I could have cut one out with paper and colored it using some of my blends. So the colors, if you're interested in knowing what they would have used, you'll need the crushed curry and old olive. And then the flowers on some of the other pages have a Cajun Craze center, that really dark orange center too, if you're interested in coloring. This is also the color they would have used for the fox, is the light and the dark Cajun Craze. So here we go, my little turtle friend getting popped up on dimensionals. Then I wanted to make him fancy. So there's these little ties in the set. I'll show you my set again. They're intended to be the little kind of bows on a build-it-yourself kite, but I thought they could dress up some of my little critters really nicely. So I'm just taking one of those dies and adding it to my turtle to kind of make him fancy. So don't put it right at the top of his neck. You don't want to choke him. I just put a dot of glue right on the top of the yellow part of his shell. And you can put your bow tie over top of that. Or if it's a girl turtle, you could add more of these embellishments. But I decided this one's the boy turtle. He looks like he's bringing a rose or a daisy to his lady. Okay, last but not least, we're doing my fox panel. Got the white layer. Beautiful raindrop paper. This is one of my favorite sheets. Raindrops are so shiny and pretty. Perfect. Okay, so this fox, once again, you could stamp it and color it, but for the sake of time, I decided to use the designer paper. So I've cut that out, and we're going to pop it up dimensionals. And I put the fox not in the middle, kind of down a little lower, because I do want those clouds to have lots of room. And I thought it was fun for the fox to look like he had a little puddle to work with, so I stamped that in Balmy Blue, cut it out. Now these guys can be a little tricky to attach, so what I like to use is just some of these edge pieces. Just trim them off of my dimensionals, and I find they fit a lot nicer than even the mini dimensionals, kind of in these tiny little guys. So I just kind of tuck the puddle under the fox's feet, so it looks like he's just walking through, splashing away. And then I decided I needed to play with some of these clouds. So there is a stamp set in, there's a stamp in the set that you can stamp with Versamark and then white embossing powder and make some pretty blue clouds. These ones I actually chopped out of extra from this sheet of paper because the die works with these as well. So that's why one of them is kind of cut off, but I'm just using whatever I have left, and that's fine with me. So start with the two larger ones in your background. They're going to be kind of your base, and you can use them just kind of hiding in the corners. I don't really mind if I've accidentally, or not accidentally, but if I've used edge pieces from these clouds, because it just looks like I purposely cut them off and they're kind of fitting into my page like this. So there's one. And then here's two. This one closer. Oh, kind of like them taking over most of the top here. All right, and then the little one that I have left, I want it to kind of come out of the page a bit. So I'm actually going to pop dimensionals on the edge of my two large clouds and then have this guy just straddle them so he looks like he's coming out of the page a little bit more. Get a little bit more lift with that cloud there. Oh, there you go. Lots of cutting and stuff, but a really cute card. I also thought if you, if there was kind of one design that you liked, you could always take the measurements of this card and kind of double it so that you make just a mini card instead of like a full pinwheel. This could be a card front for you to use. So if you know, if you're like, oh, I actually like really love one of these designs, then you could easily make a set of mini cards that go with this. Pardon me, that go with this as well. There you go. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I do post a video every Tuesday at noon, so make sure to tune in. I'm usually live, or if I have a field trip or one of my kids has an appointment, then I still always post a video. I just may have filmed it earlier for you, and you're welcome to chat in the comments if you're watching and say hi, tell me where you're from. If you are in Canada, I do have my website listed at the bottom, so all the supplies you see in the description, I can help you order. And there are a few little treats if you do order from me as well. So if you're spending over $35, then I will be sending you one of my monthly card kits along with a video kind of like this, but it's exclusive for those of you who purchase. And then if you're spending over $100, then you also will get a little product treat as well, usually some embellishments or something. But if you're outside of Canada, I love that you're tuning in too. No stress that you can't order with me. I'm sure you have a wonderful demonstrator to contact. So touch base with them. They will help you get set up with this suite. And don't miss out, because as of right now, I have no idea whether it's carrying over into the next catalog. I hope it does. does, but usually our paper never does. So if nothing else, stock up on that paper, because even if the bundle carries over, the paper probably won't. So I look forward to crafting with you guys again next week. If you like the video, please like, subscribe to the channel so you see all the notifications, and I will see you later. Bye.